Dragonslayer is an often overlooked dark fantasy gem from the early 80s. The plot is about a young sorcerer whose master is recruited to help a town slay a dragon, but before their journey begins, the master is killed, and now the task falls onto the sorcerer. The film follows many tropes of this genre, such as a threatening fire-breathing dragon, a young hero armed with a sharp weapon and a shield, and a young princess that he's tasked with saving. But the film definitely has its own style. It subverts many other fantasy expectations and tropes. The world feels very wild and open, not as tamed as some others. And a lot of the characters feel very naive and scared. The film presents itself with a fairly somber and serious tone, with lots of dim lighting and fairly intense subject matter. Hence why it's often labeled as a dark fantasy film. Personally, when I hear dark fantasy, my mind jumps to stuff like Berserk or The Witcher. Unsurprisingly, the dragon is the real star of the show. Supposedly about a quarter of the entire budget went into creating it, and it really shows. George Lucas's company, Industrial Lights and Magic, worked on the thing, with legendary effects creator Phil Tippett being ahead on the production. You might remember his work on films like Star Wars, RoboCop, and Jurassic Park. You don't see the dragon right off the bat, though. At first you only see its tail and claw, but then later on you see its head being obscured by a person. Then you see its silhouette flying around, building the suspense up even more. Eventually the hero goes into the lair to fight the dragon, and by this point you're just jumping up and down, waiting to see the dragon. But when it does finally appear and you get a good look at it, aw yeah, it's awesome. The film was a collaboration between Paramount and Disney, of all companies, which definitely makes some scenes in the film stand out a little more. The film is rated PG, but there is a single random scene with some nudity, as well as a decent amount of violence. Nothing too extreme, but enough for me to not recommend this film for younger kids. The 80s had a lot of great fantasy movies, and from what I've seen, I think this is one of the best. It's got a simple but strong story, lots of great fantasy tropes, and amazing, if slightly dated special effects. What more could you want? Check it out.